Shunned by society, tens of thousands of people forced to call the streets of Metro Detroit home.
If they could just be in my shoes for one day, maybe they'd understand.
On the street corners, struggling to survive.
Any given day, it's just like $30 a day.
Tonight, the defenders go undercover for part 2 of our series on the homeless. You know, as we focus on those holding signs at street corners asking for money, yes, we did find that some use the money for drugs and alcohol.
Well, absolutely, it happens, but many use the money to get into a cheap motel or find a shower or use a bathroom and a rare night's sleep on an actual bed.
Kevin Dietz went undercover, disguised as a homeless person, to find the real story.
As the sun comes up on the Detroit River, the homeless begin to stir. The 3,000 people turned away from shelters each night have done their best to blend into the fabric of the city. If they can hide or become invisible, they can get a few hours rest before being shooed away by society. We find them on park benches in Hart Plaza, on church steps near the Renaissance Center, in the bushes by the casinos, and in the neighborhoods on makeshift beds from couches you may have thrown away. We watch to see where they go and what happens next. It seems there are two different trains of thought. Either go lay around until a free lunch is served, or go to work. While some will waste away another day waiting for handouts at the shelter, others have more ambition. Setting up at street corners, hoping to make a few bucks. You see them all the time on street corners with their signs, "We'll work for food," "Hungry, please help." To find the real story, we decided to hit the streets in disguise. During the morning rush hour, we dressed as someone down and out. I made a simple sign and stood by the side of the freeway. I watched as Mercedes-Benz and Cadillacs rolled by, the drivers barely noticing me. Moms taking their kids to school in minivans, looking away from me until the red light turns green.
Thank you.
Every 1,000 or so cars, someone would roll down their window and hand me a dollar. There was no rhyme or reason to who would give and who would not. Race, age, and income did not seem to play a role. It seemed to me either people were compassionate about my plight or they were not.
You can stand out on the street with a sign for a long time before you get enough money to eat. In fact, the first person to give me anything was a homeless guy who gave me a bottle of water.
I was standing at my corner for more than 15 minutes and had not collected a single donation. That's when an older man with a beard shuffled towards me. I did not know what he wanted, and my guard was up. Then he surprised me. He offered me his half-full bottle of water. He wanted nothing and did not stay to chat. He saw that I did not have water, so he gave me his. Immediately, I noticed another homeless man approaching. He had a sign, and I was on his corner. I was a little afraid, as I thought he might fight for his turf. He did not. He asked me how long I plan on staying and to alert him when I was leaving so that he could take over the busy corner. I went back to begging. It was hot, dirty, humiliating, and I was not making much money.
We found that you make about $4 an hour standing on the street corner with a sign, that every once in a while you catch a break.
As rush hour started to slow, I noticed the homeless man whose turf I was on was coming back. Certain he had had enough of a stranger collecting on his corner, I prepared to pack up and leave. But the man had another surprise for me. He was sending a secret street angel my way, with a little help from him.
$5 man figure you go around when you get your $5 for your business.
Okay.
It turns out there's a man who drives the streets of Detroit with a fistful of dollars, $5 bills to be exact. He had just given the homeless man I was talking to a $5, and he was sending him my way.
I'm gonna give you $5 right now.
Okay.
Sure enough, a car appears, and a man inside slips me a $5 bill, more than doubling my take for this hour of begging.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's enough money to get into a fast food restaurant and order a meal. The purchase is also permission to use an indoor bathroom, to wash my face, and to fill up my water bottle. If you don't want to give money to the homeless, carry bottled water in your car, granola bars, socks, underwear, all items that the homeless desperately need.
Socks and underwear, that's what we desperately need with our homeless ministry for the city of Flint, Michigan, Pontiac, in Detroit, Michigan. Now, what the news reporter mentioned that they earn enough money to go into a fast food restaurant and they can wash up and get something to eat, but what they don't seem to understand the majority of the time, the homeless are shunned away from the fast food restaurants. They are told to leave. They're not allowed to sit in there, even if they have money to buy a cup of coffee. There was a report just recently where a homeless gentleman, a good Samaritan, took him in to get him a meal, and they called the police and they had the man leave because of the way his appearance and the way he was dressed and his clothes were dirty. So it's a battle. It's a never-ending battle. TrumpetOfGodMinistries.com, just trying to give people a better, clearer understanding of the plight of the homeless here in the United States, in our very own backyard. If you feel led to give, if you're moved by the Holy Spirit to give to our ministry to the homeless, the link will be below. God bless you.